Another incredible episode of a segment that makes us smarter and more insightful, in the world a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another episode of Everything DB.
Yeah. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Let's fly through it, too. So right here, we've been talking about this a lot this season. Number one, number two, count from the outside in. Now, what's going to happen here is it's going to be a pre-snap motion. It's going to be a play-action pass, something that Tennessee did a great job of. Ryan Tannehill did a great job throwing the ball on Thursday night. Had the one pick from Douglas, I believe. It was just a great play on his behalf. But Tannehill, outside of that throw, had a great night throwing the ball. But this is something pre-snap that you see a lot. Robert Woods going to motion down to create this stack. And like I said, we count from the outside in 1 and 2. But once we get this stack, and this looks like cover 3, so he's the seam flat player, so he's responsible to cover the number 2 receiver down the field. But once Robert Woods motion downs to this stack, it gets a little gray. It gets a little hairy on who is the number 2 receiver. So run right back real quick. You'll see the signal to the outside corner. And this is basically, we used to call this Sky. We literally had the same signal. When he comes down, hey, Sky, Sky. Typically, when you come down, that means I'm going to have this off-the-ball receiver or whoever becomes number 2. But the way Robert Woods especially runs this route, he's going to stay in almost like a choo-choo train. Pause. So now number 2 is you never know who number 2 is. He never declares himself until he gets into this route. So now both of these guys are looking at the same guy. And I think, in hindsight, they did the right thing. They take the biggest threat, the deepest guy, right? And then let it run. Boom. So once he breaks out, you got 2 guys on this guy, nobody on Robert Woods. The play action obviously sucks 51 up a little bit, so he's not getting any depth in that flat. But then Robert Woods is going to be wide open. Now, obviously, this starts with the play action game to Derrick Henry in the backfield, but what they did pre-snap threw off that whole coverage. Now, it should have been easy. The down safety, I believe, we used to have a rule where, hey, if they don't declare 1 and 2, I'll just take the off-the-ball guy and make him number 2. But this is what happens here. Run it back again. So, but what should happen here is once Robert Wood becomes this off-the-ball stack guy, that becomes your guy. In the corner, you're deeper. You take the guy that's on the ball, and then we got clean matches here. But that doesn't happen, and that's how you get this wide-open receiver. But this is savvy route running, too, because he knows these coverage rules as well. So great job here by Tennessee and Ryan Tannehill. Obviously, this is an easy throw here. He made some throws in some tighter windows in this game. But this is a big play. You got to make that tackle.
It's happened about 15 times during the game, D. But do these guys fucking practice during the week? Do they watch film? Like, this shit happens every single fucking week. Why?
Ty,
we keep talking about like communication, like they don't ever communicate. Guys, they're free runners, guys running wide open. Seriously, Tannehill, this happened. I'm not being...
We saw him communicate here, Ty. We saw him give him the sky.
Well, what are they talking about? They talk about the wrong shit then. This happened like 15 to 20 times.
I would put it on this guy. That was the position that I was in a lot, being a slot corner, nickel back.
But he's locked in on 16 all along, isn't he? It looks
like
it.
And he shouldn't be. And he gave the signal. So it is confusing. I understand Ty's frustration and probably the same frustration that the DB coaches have it because he obviously saw Robert Woods motioning down. And if you look at these guys, if you just saw this stack before the ball is ever snapped, who would you expect to run the lower route, the more shallow route out of these 2 receivers? It'll be Robert Woods. You got Traylon Burks, the speedy rookie receiver. He's on the point. You expect that guy to be the deeper route runner. You expect him to be the lower guy. So this is a big, we would call this an ME basically on 2-6.
These guys
what the hell?
So I'm communicated, but you got to execute it. And,
Is there any thinking like when they are stacked like that and you are is there like to disrupt them because they are so close to each
Somebody
other?
get up on.
I mean, the only so if he just ran this route, that same route from out here, then maybe it'll be easier for them to know. Okay, I got this guy. But since he runs this route and like we used to call it a choo-choo train, that makes it. That does make it tougher. But once again, just treat this guy like number 2.
What about a jam?
You could, but no. There's no real reason to at this point.
Even though those are like the only 2 routes in the entire field, is there any point to maybe just drop off or do something different?
It's literally running back. It's as simple as him coming back, coming down, identifying 2, like, hey, and he gave the signal. He did everything pre-snap. If they never snapped this ball, I would say, okay, this is how they're going to match this route. So I don't know why outside of that choo-choo release, but once again, just treat this off guy. This is the same as if they were in man coverage and they did like an in and out, like a combo coverage. All right, you take the inside guy, I take the outside guy. Once they become vertical, no one declares inside or outside. As the inside defender, we're taught to take the inside guy and treat it like or the off the ball guy and treat that like the inside breaker. But I mean, it's not complex, especially going into week 12. Like you said, this is something. This is day one type
You see
stuff.
great tackling after he caught it as well. So.
Bad tackling.
Positive though is that if he threw it to Traylon Burks, I mean they got 3 guys on him. So
right.
There was 5 guys
I mean,
actually.
they did err on the side of taking
Tough
a deeper receiver. This is a game winner right here. Overtime, Davante Adams. Now you'll see the route. The route is beautiful, but I think the play design is great as well because right now, good pause right here. He's running this under route right here. What happens a lot, this route concept is what's the drive route. He goes under, and 9 times out of 10, this top receiver will run a dig route right behind him. So this is go back a little bit. This is the coverage is this is a fire zone. So you got 5 guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it'll be 3 under, 3 deep, right? 1, 2, 3 underneath, 1, 2, 3 deep. He's gonna be on Davante Adams obviously because he's gonna become the number 1 receiver once 10 dives under. So let it run a little bit. So now 10 dives over. Now he becomes the top receiver, right? So now he should be outside leverage on Davante, and even if he runs that crossing route, you got this overhang player. This is the seam flat player up here. He's playing everything top down, right? So if he comes up, I'll just come up and tackle that. If Davante runs this crosser, I'll be here to have it. Now, you got to keep this outside leverage. He thinks in his mind, I know this route concept. I know where he's going. Davante straightens him up, and it's absolutely no. You'll see it from the back copy. I mean, great route. Anybody can make this throw. Davante, you heard him after the game. Hey, he's young. He's not ready yet, blah, blah, blah. Patrick Surtain felt like he saw something. Once again, drive route. He's been seeing this route since college. Great route design, great time to have this in your back pocket. We saw that hole that you had earlier with against the Eagles. I don't know if you've seen a receiver more wide open than this all season, like especially to being Davante Adams. So like, great route. I mean, that lets you know that he was going to a spot. He's like, hey, I'm outside leverage, but I'm going to jump this route in overtime, make a game-saving, game-winning interception. So great play design. But I mean, that is.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be, all this is supposed to be, bam, bang, right behind it, and that guy's clear out, basically, right?
Yep.
And that's just how most offenses are. Like, most offenses normally have one half of the field kind of cut off, especially if the quarterback's rolling.
Well, a lot of offense, a lot of pass concepts, they'll have, we used to call it like windshield wipers as offense. So you'll have like a bunch of your routes will be flowing the same, either that way or this way. So if you got outbreakers here, you got to take off, you got a flat, and then you got a dig coming in the backside because you don't want, I'm looking at the out here and then I go back this side and I'm throwing it out there. That's tough on the quarterback. So they'll either start their reads from here and go there, or they'll start front side, and then once everything covered, that backside receiver will be coming into that window in the zone. But as a defender, we always talk about it. AJ always talks about it, leverage. You got to keep that outside leverage because any help that you may possibly have is over here. And I think he does a good job playing this from top down because if Davante does run over there, he's in great position. So his eyes right here, just go. If you see it from the back copy, his eyes aren't even on Davante. So that becomes man-to-man coverage once he gets vertical. But that's tough right there. Which
I went back to the wrong one. Is it on here?
Yeah, it should be.
Hey, D, but also now though, if they get in this same look and you're playing them in the future, like now Davante, if he does run it like you thought, like Surtain thought he was going to run, he keeps going over. Like now, if you're a corner out there, aren't you a little bit in between now? Like, okay, I saw this, I remember the game winner. I don't get caught here.
Yep, you just gotta. That's goddamn. That's tough right there. But you gotta have good eyes. You gotta obviously see and anticipate things. That's the only way you really make plays as a corner is anticipating and jumping things. But at the same time, you gotta have good eye discipline here. And this is a concept that they probably ran earlier in this game. They for sure ran it earlier in the season. But hey, he's dropping his nuts at this point. Say, I'm going to make a play. And right here, he knows I got him right where I want him.
Oh, Davante's so happy right there.
Oh, yeah, he knows
Imagine
right
if Derek missed him here.
Oh, no.
He would have been
Crying
crying.
post game,
Yeah.
yeah.
What Davante goes through.
Good throw.
But yeah,
Good throw, good catch.
great play design.
Hey, the important thing too, D-Butt, too, is like no matter what position on the field, is always know where your help is, right?
Oh yeah,
Like that-
absolutely.
Like O-line, same thing. Like, hey, listen, if I got guard help, like I know I can underset a little or whatever it is, right? Like it's same shit here.
Yeah, obviously great young player. So he's thinking, I want to go make a play. I want to go make a play on Davante.
This is a
Adams
scar
right here.
that's going to carry him.
This is a scar. You learn from this. But right now, I guarantee you his eyes are back here and not on this. Because if he's here, he'll be able to pivot. And maybe he still creates some separation, but he'll have some type of chance to catch him in the air, make a play, even grab him, maybe hold him. But with his eyes being back here, man, that's tough. And that's for the gusto. This is a walk-off game winner in overtime. So this is one of those times as an offensive coordinator, he probably had this play in his back pocket and saved it for the perfect time.
He's so nice to everybody.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Safe
All
travel.
right,
All right, this play right here. This is 3rd and 14. This is something, this is a defense that plays a lot of split coverage. So right here, you see Harrison Smith and Pat P talking right now. This is half coverage up here, so cover 2 up here, and down here is quarters. But if you look at the matchups across the board, you're going to say, all right, I'm good with Pat P just locking him backside on this tight end. And since I have CeeDee Lamb potentially lined up on my Mike linebacker, who in quarters, if he goes vertical, he's responsible. He's got to run all the way down the field with CeeDee Lamb, right? So Harrison Smith is like, I'm going to help my safety out. Pat P, you're good backside. But the other matchup backside is Tony Pollard on this linebacker. So Dak sees what's going on. Dak right now, he sees the communication. He's in his, his pre-snap cadence. He sees what's going on. And he knows this is a common adjustment with speed at 3 and split safety coverage, because everyone knows, we talk about all the time, 1, 2, 3, that linebacker is going to be matched up relating to 3 a lot of times. So Dak, you'll see the adjustment he made. And it looks like I don't even know if this was alert. It looks like he changes the complete play with the amount of communication he has here. So he sees what's going on. All right, boom. You just let it run. It's going to be a lot of.
Yeah, hold on. Is he thinking here? Hold on. Let me, what was this? I remember when this happened. Oh, yeah, we got a fucking wheel.
Yeah, he knows that. Boom, he's alerting that. But that's probably a lot of bullshit up top, and he's telling them, hey, clear out, and I want to get this ISO on Tony Pollard. Now, Tony Pollard played a lot of receiver in college, and he is a weapon. We saw him in the trenches running, but this is him. This is 3rd and 14, too. So once again, Pat P's locked up here. You got cover 2 up here. He's gone.
See ya.
Boom.
What a ball.
Out of there. 68-yard tug.
Good protection.
So he knows that the will is matched up on the running back in this particular coverage.
Yep.
And Tony Pollard is explosive, very fast.
Absolutely.
So he tells old Cuzzy down here, who's this wide receiver down here? Do we know? Is that tight end?
Schultz?
This is Dalton Schultz, right? This is the tight end, and that's why, Harrison Smith was like, hey, we're going to lock you backside. I'm going to help my linebacker up here. And CeeDee Lamb ends up running like an out and up, and he goes and hauls ass to help his linebacker. But, I mean, it's no –
You honestly believe that he's telling Dalton here, hey, just clear out. Need you just clear out. Is that the type of check that they could potentially go to? If Dak has that type of control, we think? That's awesome if that's
I
the
would think
case.
so. I mean, the only thing, because if I feel like this play was called in the huddle, it would just be alert, and AQ could probably talk to this more. But he'll come, if they have 2 plays called in the huddle, he'll just come up and say, hey, alert, let's get to our second play. Maybe they have a single high concept and a split safety concept, and he get to the split safety concept. But since there was so much communication, and to be able to do this too, you got to get out of the huddle and get set. If you get out of the huddle with, 12 seconds left on the play clock, you can't do this. So they got out, got set, and then Dak had time to get into this perfect play call. So he gets Patrick Peterson out of there. Boom, you run your route, you're breaking inside, and now we know you are on an island. And that's not where you want to be. Perfect ball, obviously explosive player, but that's good pre-snap. That's good. That's good quarterback play right there.
Hey, that's great quarterback play there, huh, AQ?
That's awesome. Yeah, it's good stuff. And just like DB said, I mean, it's you do. You have 1 high, 2 high checks. You have 2 high, 1 high checks. Depending on whether you want to go run to pass to run. You have man beaters versus zone beaters. So there's a million different things that they give the quarterbacks freedom to do. So
that's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy
Keep
shit.
running that. Let me see Pollard's alignment from what he initially had. You can keep running it. He got wider here outside the tackle a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit wider. He knows. I mean, Hicks probably knows there's a good chance of it. But 3rd and 14, you can say, oh, Hicks, why didn't he back up and play the sticks?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you look from the wide view, when Pollard squares him up, there's nobody anywhere around. So if he turns around and catches a little out, you got to make an open field tackle on Pollard, and you got to hold. You You can't let him get 5 more yards. Good luck. Like that's an
This is
impossible
big
task
brain
as well.
football from
If you
Dak.
run it back to the wide, like everyone on the field right now knows what this matchup is. Everyone on the field right now, offensively and defense, knows, okay, this has got to be the match because now Harrison Smith does do a lot of disguising, so potentially they could be in a half down here, but I think they got a pretty good beat on A. They run a lot of split coverage. Sometimes it's quarters up there and it's half here, but they're going up here, and we know this is the bad matchup, right? This is the worst matchup. Kendricks on CeeDee Lamb. That would be the worst matchup, especially on 3rd and 14. If he runs that right here, middle of the field, you'd be like, why the hell you have a linebacker on CeeDee Lamb? So I would much rather take my chances on a will linebacker on Tony Pollard. But, I mean, hey.
Kendricks did a hell of a job.
Yeah, I was
on
going to say
CD.
Kendricks locked in.
Perfect
down.
ball. Yeah, Kendrick, smart player. He's probably seen this. And he knows it's 3rd and 14, so I'm not going to bite on a 7-yard out route. Like, I'll play a high. He was in great shape. Now, he could have hit, Noah Brown coming up after that pivot route, but
They're all going out this way too. I mean, everything's going out that way. He's going that way.
He goes out and up. He goes out and back in. But Dak knows where he's going with this ball. As soon as he uses his eyes a little bit to just make sure Harrison Smith respects him. But so like I said, great. This is great quarterback play from pre-snap to post-snap.
And there's literally nothing that fucking guy down there can do.
He was in, I guess, the best position he could be in. That's a great ball, and that's an explosive wide receiver.
Stay at Odell, man. That Cowboys offense.
They're going to, right? That's what they're saying.
That's what it feels like.
That would be a scary addition. This is a great play out of the post from Jordan Poyer. He got back out there. When Poyer plays, the Bills win. But play action. So right now we're going to be in cover 3. So we know in cover 3, somebody's got to be responsible for number 2, carrying them. We're going to get a hard play action fake. If this or this guy's responsible for carrying them, both of them bite up on a run fake. This backside
They
corner.
get sucked up.
Yep.
Sucked
They get sucked up on a run fake. This
Can't be getting sucked
this
up.
backside corner.
Not on the field.
Oh, we get it, AJ.
Mickey Mantle.
Real funny.
Hell yeah, Mickey
hell yeah.
Mantle.
Chime in.
You see the eyes back here because these are his receiving threat, right? And that interception that happened in Green Bay's game, this is the play that he made. He made the play. He had the run fake, and then Douglas got back and basically picked that right off, but it came from the other side of the field. But here, everything is perfect. It worked out exactly how the Browns dialed it up. Run it back real quick because I want to show you where Poyer comes from to make this play. Like, look at this. I don't know if you have the yard thing, but we can see that this is at least 15 yards, and he's running away as well. So he's going to come from here and make this play on David Njoku, which is,
Yeah, we saw this live.
this is an
in the
incredible
suite.
play out of the post. Great play design by the Browns, but just watch this. This is why he's one of the separating from the ball, clean hit, shoulders, no head, all that bullshit. Great play. Obviously, bad eyes from that front side third defender, but great play from the post.
It's like 30 yards.
It's a lot of
Coverage.
yards. That's what you call getting off that hash. And then you separate him for the ball.
No, thank you.
Great play
He
by
said.
Jordan
Did you hear him
Poyer.
say that?
Sideline juiced up.
You watch it from the middle.
Poyer's a guy, huh?
He's a dog.
His contract's up. He's free agent after
He's a
this
ball
year.
player.
Yeah, he's not a Pro Bowler, though.
All pro, right? All pro, no Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
How many picks this year? 4 or
What
5?
a play.
Yeah,
Supposed to have 12?
Doesn't have 12.
Nope.
No.
Doesn't have
But
12.
that's an unbelievable play though. That's a
love
bailout.
Chase.
That's what you
Alien
do
growing
if
out
you
of his
say-
elbow too.
What's
That's
that?
right.
Bionic arm.
Have you seen his elbow?
Oh yeah.
It's all
nasty.
fucked up.
What is it?
The elbow.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't know.
It looks like his bone is just sticking out the backside of his bicep.
Yeah.
So what do you have? He had a lung, right? Did he
Yeah.
have something with his lung?
With the broken ribs or something.
That's
Yeah.
why he
When he
couldn't,
drove the-
because he had to drive. Now he's got what? Sounds like.
It looks like
The
he's
elbow was
growing
creasy, though.
another elbow on top of his elbow.
So is that a bruise or is that an infection?
No clue.
It's like that.
It almost looks like a sack of fluid, like a
Seriously.
bursitis sack or something.
Need to get that drained like in
Derek
semi-pro.
Carr was crying about the other day, man. It's,
A lot of shit.
Hey, a lot of shit.
Those
he was
guys
dealing
go
with,
through
man.
just a practice.
Sleep to play. And,
They won the next week.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
They won the next week.
did.
Right with the troops.
They did. As Robert Mathis
AQ,
said,
your thoughts on Derek Carr?
ain't no pity parties.
As a quarterback?
Well, his press
His
conference.
yeah,
conference.
post game last week.
Oh no, he's dead.
Crying and doing that whole thing?
Yeah. It was awesome, right?
doing that whole thing. What?
Hey,
What's your problem? Song and dance?
It's not a gimmick, bro.
no,
What are we?
gambling wise, we got to take note too. Cry games are a thing. So
The next one.
if
Next
your
week.
starting quarterback is crying on the
After a
podium,
cry,
Yeah.
you win the next one.
Well, if
else
the
got
Broncos would have just scored,
We got any more
17
sample
points,
size?
they would've-
yeah, Terrell Owens, my quarterback.
Did they win?
Did
the
they
next
win
game?
after?
Sure,
Stat that.
start that.
You're right though. If the Broncos score 18,
Yeah.
9-1.
Nine.
9-1. Shit.
A lot of money on the offensive side. Nathaniel Hackett hands the offense off to somebody else.
Clint
They stink
Kubiak.
at it. Hands off the game situational awareness stuff. They stink at that.
Yeah,
every day.
for-
What does he do? Just like standing there with his hands in his pockets the whole game now? Is that all he does?
Nathaniel Hackett goes from being beloved by everybody in
Yeah.
Green Bay to this dipshit.
This
What?
guy's a fucking moron.
He did not look like he was having a good time on Sunday.
There's no way, dude.
Hey, if
Could
we're
you imagine? What's that?
talking common denominator with all those guys calling plays. There's only one. It's the guy throwing the ball,
Who?
Russ Wilson.
Oh, jeez.
Just saying.
He had his best game of the year.
That's right, and they scored 16 points. So
Well,
you
he had
tell
a
me,
red zone fumble too by
Yeah.
Melvin.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
gone.
Ah, he got fired.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Mutually.
And they had a blocked.
Ball is a program.
There was a
Field goal
report.
as
Mitch
well,
Dak
yeah.
got a shout at on the block
He
kick.
did. I saw that.
Yep.
I saw that
Raiders.
live.
What's up?
I saw him talking to McDaniels.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
saw him
He had a
chatting
good shot.
over there.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Montana legend, Tom McMahon. What a stud that
Shout
guy
out
is.
Mitch.
Shout out, Tom.
Can you say Mitch?
Oh!
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Just a great cover 2 rep, second and long.
He's a
from
middle gentleman, obviously. It's
Right.
Trevon Diggs. Read it back from the top. It's
That's-
just cover 2 rep. Obviously, we see a bunch of cover 2. You know, we're speed. But it's, hey, Justin Jefferson, he's going to run a 7. We got a flat route in front of him. Usually, I always say, play it top down, play it top down, play it top down, as you should. But Trevon Diggs, he actually plays the low one. Comes back. I don't know if he's trying to bait Kirk Cousins into this one, but he comes back and almost makes the nastiest pick of the season. But we talked about Trevon Diggs, ball skills, always trying to play the ball. And there was a lot of, I watched this all 22. Justin Jefferson, he created a lot of space this game. He was open, but they could not block him up front at all.
No, they couldn't.
But just a
Yeah.
great job
What are you saying?
by him in coverage.
What'd you say?
If the Vikings were able to block it up, there was a lot of yards out there to be had.
11 sacks or something like that? What was the number?
Jeff.
8, I think.
It was bad. The left side of the line was gone the whole second half. That's
What
already
happened?
a new left tackle right there, and 72 got hurt later.
Yeah.
So they're dead? Is that what we're talking about? Judon going to have a field day on Thanksgiving evening?
Yeah, Patriots are second in sacks in the NFL. Just something.
Their offensive line sucks. Can they fix that in 4 days?
No, they don't suck. I mean, they just
They suck. They gave up 8
They
sacks.
do.
They lost half their line.
They lost
Darisaw's
both
out,
tackle,
though,
right?
Yeah, Darisaw is out for sure.
Darisaw's
Yeah.
out with a concussion. He's out. Cleveland is probably doubtful. I'd
Ezra?
imagine. Ezra Cleveland.
He doesn't want to see Barmore.
We
in the
heard
hole.
2 weeks ago Von Miller, talking about how good these tackles were. So you lose
Yeah.
those guys, like
Look at
that's
his tackle is literally, he's straddling his tackle right now trying to make his throw. I mean, that's,
But that's a great
backup.
great rep from Trevon. Yeah, shit.
Yeah,
Talent,
Belichick's
players
going to have
matters.
something cooked
And then,
up for Kirk
I just
Cousins.
wish you would have caught that. But it's the last one, baby.
hey,
Appreciate
we
you guys.
appreciate you, Darius. That was awesome. I feel like I'm getting smarter. AJ, I honestly feel like I'm getting smarter with all this shit.